Now, most people don't miss tops in crypto. They miss the part that actually makes money, more often than not the bottom and the accumulation phase. And the reason why you do this is just probably your brain, unfortunately. And if you ever bought the pump or not sold the top or didn't buy low enough, this video's for you. If you've not yet done so, slap the like on it, comment. It is hard. The world of crypto, motivation doing a YouTube video right now is hard. That's why I'm only doing one a week. I do apologize. But there's not a lot to talk about. But let's talk about this, because I think this is important. When we talk about the current market right now, it is boring. There's drops in the price, there's drops in interest, drops in engagement, drops in volume of content being watched, all that kind of stuff. And I get it. And probably your life habits of watching in or tuning into your favorite crypto YouTuber has probably changed now. And you can see quite clearly on my dashboard that I have created, and I am building, this is going to become monstrous, by the way, so just chill out, Winston. There's not a lot on here yet. But the market sentiment, as you can see, bearish. Extreme fear still. Rising dominance is still kind of happening. Obviously, underperforming altcoins. Bitcoin dominance phase is still quite high. So that's the problem that we have. It's not really doing anything. And even I could argue and say the obvious is there's no real volatility. There's no real price action to give us that kind of, oh, hello, this is cool. Even if it was going hurtling to the floor, something to talk about, right? It isn't. Look at what dominance has done. Nothing. Look at what Bitcoin has done. Not a lot. Altcoins, nothing. I get it. But this is usually the phase where I think no one really pays attention to. There is going to be opportunities, and it might well be here right now. This is why you need to keep trickling along with it. But when we talk about the human mind and our brain for dopamine and excitement, fast rewards, and whatever you want to know it as, so obviously price action, getting rich quick. And this happens in personal finance, because I do have a personal finance channel as well. And I see it there as well with gold. I see it there with, say, Microsoft, Google recently, even Rolls-Royce in the UK, how those have developed massive price action spikes and people are like, oh, really turned on by it. Crypto has been like that since I remember it. But crypto reality is also very, very slow and very, very slow stimulation in certain time periods, because it is proof in the pudding. You will see, if you look a little bit deeper at Bitcoin, for example, here, and you look at how it has had these periods, it's nothing to be kind of like, it shouldn't be a slap in the face. So when we talk about, let me go to another BTC chat just to kind of showcase this. We'll go to the old trusty Bitstamp chat, because even if you put it on log scale, just to kind of showcase some stuff, these periods of life where not a lot happened. So as much as I bought here, yeah, great, well done, Ashley, you got lucky. But we did also have a very, very horrible bear market. We actually fell from 6K down to 3K, and we stayed in around these 3K levels for about 4 or 5 months. It was horrible. We bounced all the way back up here for a little bit, and then we had a very, very slow decline. Again, going into these lows. Obviously, coronavirus happened and we nuked ourselves. But even from the recovery, it still took a good couple of months to kind of get going. There was a lot of boredom and then a big, massive run. Again, obviously, yeah, and I was looking at the log scale, but you can see how there is some horrible honking periods where it was for a long, 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 long time, not a lot happening. And that's the thing. Your brain will probably prefer a pump of an altcoin, a meme coin. I get it. That's the thing. People want entries if you're clever. As I say, majority of people, especially in the first phase of a market participation, I want to get rich quick. I made money on that coin, I want to make money on the next coin. I want to keep going and going and going. It becomes a problem, right? So this is why a lot of people, I think, in this new cycle, which we've just came out of, got burned because they didn't look at Bitcoin at, say, 15K, 16K, 18K. And the reason why I'm highlighting these is because we actually stayed in and around this zone, bear with me, for a while. So if you look at this low here from, say, we could talk about from June, July, in and around this period here, that was 243 days where we were plonking in and around this area. That's plenty of time for the accumulation phase. This is what people will miss, and this is the whole point. Because when people miss these, and the illusion is, yes, you can get the lows and make a load of money, right? That's brilliant. Well done. 6, 7x. Cool. Fantastic. Well done. Or you're lucky, in other words. I know, I get it. But if you miss these kind of areas and just buy on a pump, yeah, it doesn't go up nowhere near as much, but also you got these potential pullbacks that could catch you out as well. People chase pumps, they get trapped. It repeats the cycle every single time. You're not investing, you're just basically resetting your capital every single time by getting lost. If you buy in pumps, you're going to get burnt. This is why you need to be patient and also trickle in and double down on your plan. What do you want? Do you want more Ethereum? Do you want more XRP? Do you want more Bitcoin? Do you want more Hedge Hashgraph? Whatever it may be, right? I don't give a flying donkey these days. But you should be having a point where you should be starting from somewhere. The quiet phase can be the place to start. Because, yeah, you can look at Ethereum and it looks like a dog's fucking dinner. It does. It looks horrible. But these believers in Ethereum and these like monthly timeframes, 3-day timeframes, weekly timeframes, whatever, is starting to showcase a little bit of value. Not amazing value, but no one loses by dollar cost averaging in when we're away from all-time high. That's kind of the whole point. Buy as far away from all-time high as you possibly bloody can. That's simply it. Smart money will always accumulate lower. Retail will usually flap at that and fucking give up and not watch a YouTube video again. Probably, which is why this video will probably have lower views than normal, lower likes than normal, so please change that. But the reality is here, these boring spells, all you need to do is go, right, I'm not going to buy up here because it's fucking expensive. I'm also going to wait for the interest to fall. You could probably argue from about now, give or take, from around $2,000 below, you can start dollar cost averaging in every single week. I do it on Bitcoin every single Sunday morning at 5 a.m. Automatic. Boom, it's done. That's fine. And that will eventually, hopefully, help me. Because as boring as this is going to sound, the money isn't made on the exit, it's made in the fucking entry. Once people get that in your head, you're laughing. Because you always have these exponential breakups at points when it happens. And it's happened here, it happened fucking here, it's happening fucking pretty much there. When they hit certain lows, they will react. And you basically call it the S-curve. So it's basically, it's flat for a bit, then you have a breakdown, a breakup or a breakout or whatever. Either way it works. Breakout in this sense for bullish, and then an exponential fucking fuck off, let's go. This happens in low liquidity markets, and we will see this in situations again like this, for example. This doesn't mean that you can't make money. It just means that it's boring for a while, it's flat, it's shit, and then all of a sudden, whoom, interest, bang, exponential growth, breakout, and then we go from there. It's all over the place. Literally every single coin. BNB's got a good example of it over the period. You can see it, it's fucking mental. There's periods of fuck all, there's periods of breakouts, there's periods of expansion, whatever. Dollar cost average into those lows, be happy with it, take profit the other side, you win. But I'm going to say this once, and once only for the people at the back, the ETF inflows are going to be massively important here. Ethereum was the thing for this. So when we talk about, obviously, inflows and all that kind of good stuff, right? And we could talk about stuff kind of like this, where the inflows are going to be very, very important for what Bitcoin, what Ethereum does. The thing is, right, and this is what the annoying part is for a lot of people, is the psychology is it is boring. I don't want to be a part of this market because it's boring. I get it, right? Most people don't fail because they're wrong. They fail because they're bored and they're not interested anymore and they don't think it's worth it. This is why a plan is important. This is why dollar cost averaging is important. This is why reducing your chart watching is probably pretty important, and I understand why people do that. You need to focus on the structure, the macro environment, the dominance of the market, and overall, yes, you can look at certain things like on my platform, which I am, as I say, building more, but the reality is people are all panicking about stuff like this. Crude oil, what's going to happen next? Is this good for Bitcoin? Is it bad for Bitcoin? Is it good for Ethereum or what? I don't know. That's the thing. This is why you need to track risk on versus risk off versus, say, hype. That's where people lose. Because, yeah, once you start chasing the pumps like Hedra all those months ago, I get it. It's exciting, but unless you got the bottom and you're a die-hard Hedra Hashgraph lover, for example, you got to win. But if you try to catch the pump because you think it's the next thing, the best thing since sliced bread, you're going to lose. Chainlink's been guilty of that over the course of time with little pumps. People getting very, very excited about it. doesn't really materialize. You could argue Cardano is another example of this. It's just one of those things. So just be mindful of it. But another thing, every single cycle, every single narrative, sector, whatever, looks obvious in hindsight. But in the moment, it feels like nothing's happening. Then all of a sudden it does. Like when we talk about stuff like this, for just a random example, right? AI, remember when AI took off? Oh, it was obvious. But how many people were piling into AI coins at the time? Not many, right? Same with Layer 2, same with DeFi back in the 2021. Meme coins as well. Fucking Metaverse, that's died. But you get the point, right? This is why most people miss it, is because it already goes. You need to be committed. You need to have a plan. You need to understand what you're buying and accumulate. But as I say, people miss the accumulation phase completely. Because the reality is, as much as I recommend Blowfin, people are trying to get rich quick without doing the right thing. Blowfin's a really good platform if you want to get better at not bag holding, trade the freaking things, have a plan, do it. There's a 20% off, by the way, on your fees using my link. But the plan for me, the long story short, is I'm not vanishing. I'm not going anywhere. I am going to be building an awesome platform that will hopefully help people become better at, hopefully, investing, dollar cost averaging, becoming better with their portfolios, all through the love of data. But data or not, and the reality is of my experience of over 10 years in this market and a long, long time doing a content creation job, the world of I give up when it's crap is quite obvious. People will come back with it when the interest comes. It always, always happens, and it fucking infuriates me because every single time people miss it. We could go down to say 20k Bitcoin and people will genuinely miss it because they were fucking doing something else. And then they'll moan when it doesn't go back again. That's just the reality of it. Anyways, if you've not yet done so, check out Patreon, get access to the platform. There will be more coming in the next couple of days on there, which will probably blow brains. But yeah, enjoy.